Hi, good morning. My name's Danielle D. Christopher. Just wanted you to see see me first. A little disclaimer. Of course, had we been doing this live in person together, the presentation would be done a little bit differently. So there'll be some times where I ask you just to pause the video to do some writing. When we would be doing this in person, it's really interactive. You'd be doing a lot of writing and sharing with the other participants. Unfortunately, we don't have that. It's not possible today. So, a little bit about me. I'm teaching this year fourth grade at Garland R. Quarles in Winchester City Public Schools. I've taught grades kindergarten through fourth grade. I'm starting year 11, I believe. I can't even remember. I've taken some time. I took some time off and stayed home with my children for a few years. So this will be year 5 back in the classroom. I participated in the Shenandoah Valley Writing Project in 2018, 2019 year. That was the first year that I was going to be teaching third grade, and I was departmentalized teaching reading and writing and all the language arts along with science. And so I would teach 2 weeks of science and then get the other group for 2 weeks of science or what have you. And I really wanted to figure out how I could monopolize on my time, as I only had an hour and a half block for reading, which, twice, but it wasn't really, I wasn't sure that was enough time. So I wanted to incorporate reading and science together. And so that led me to my research project. And so I'm going to be sharing some things I learned with you and some things that I did in the classroom. Writing to learn science, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to get rid of the video here so I can make the screen larger for you. So let me do that. All right. Excuse me. All right, so what you're going to need is approximately 40 minutes. You're going to need a pencil and paper and willingness to learn something new and do some writing. I got a little video to share with you. Hopefully it's going to load. This is all, not my speed here. All the technology stuff. All right. It's just a funny little clip that I like.
Where's my mac and cheese? Creativity to me is just like, it's like a bird, like a friendly bird.
No one help her.
You got it. I just gotta get my hand using the handle. I want to go to there.
Okay, and so that's exactly what I'm here to do for you today. Oh, I guess my face is going to stay up there. Okay. Is I want to help you be creative and not leave you stranded at the water cooler on not knowing what to do. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is just on a little sheet of paper that you have, you're going to pause for 2 minutes and write. Writing to learn, writing across the curriculum. What does that mean to you? What does it look like in the classroom? So pause me, jot down some thoughts. Okay. All right, so hopefully you have an idea of what writing across the curriculum looks like to you. And I just want you to put that aside. Had we been in person, we would be sharing out those ideas. Maybe you came up with something like writing across the curriculum is writing in all subjects, using writing to explain your learning, writing and reading, writing and math, writing and science, writing and social studies, something like that. So we would be sharing out those things right now. But I just want you to keep that so then you can just reflect on that a little bit later. Okay, so there are 3 stages of writing, and they build on each other as you go. So the first one is expressive writing, and that's an example of what you just wrote expressively by writing down your ideas of writing across the curriculum. What does that mean to you? That's writing. You're just expressing yourself through your writing. It's a process of putting your thoughts and feelings and experiences into words. I can't stress enough how important it is to allow students endless opportunities to write every day, multiple times through the day, and not to just write in their reading time or just write in their journal. They're writing in a notebook. They're writing on the computer. They're jotting down an exit ticket of their thoughts. Just getting them comfortable with expressing themselves through writing. That will build a strong foundation for their writing as they go through the different stages. So do it a lot. And I'll say that probably several more times throughout this presentation. All right, so what does that look like when we're writing nonfiction? We're writing in science, we're writing in social studies, we're writing in math. We have 4 types of nonfiction writing: expository or informational, narrative writing, persuasive, and descriptive. And I'm sure everybody knows what those look like in the reading classroom, but what does it look like, or what can it look like? What can it look like in the content areas? Okay, and this is a book that I read when doing my research that I would highly recommend you to read as well. All right, so the first type is expository, or that informational writing. The purpose is to explain, describe, and to give information. It's just to relay facts. It usually includes narrative and descriptive writing to make the writing come more alive to your reader. So there you can see some examples of writing that my students did. We had studied simple machines, and then they had to build their own simple machine, and they wrote little books of their steps that they made, the steps that they used to make their machine, what their machine was used for. And it was just very informational, explaining their simple machines. So there's some more of their examples. Day 2, what they used it for. They had it, and they had to draw an image explaining their simple machine. Also, we had some observations that we wrote. So it's just, see, as you can see, again, this is a third grade classroom. Students writing, listing facts, taught them to use, bullets to jot down their ideas. All right. One of our science units is animals, living, non-living, ecosystems. Students, as we were doing our research of the different ecosystems, they were then asked to research a animal and write about it. So they created these nonfiction animal books. I've since then even extended this activity. If I can get myself back on the video here, I can show you another one. But I had them write about their ecosystem, as well as an animal that lives in the ecosystem. This particular year that I had them just write about, kind of embed it together, but it was more about animals. The importance of doing writing like this is I was able to teach all the nonfiction text features. As you can see, the student here, they have a title, they have the cover page, they have subtitles. I don't know if you can tell, but where it says rodents on that second image, it's the boldface print text feature, and then taking those boldface print words into their glossary, and they had to make a picture glossary to show what it is and to define that boldface print. Students were then, boom, taught. They were showing me their understanding of, this particular student, the beaver and where it lived, what it looked like, what it ate. You can see that they have science terminology they had to know, predators, habitat. Then they also were learning the nonfiction text features that we were studying and reading. Okay, so these examples that I just showed you, let me see if I can get my image up here. Sorry, so sorry. Here we go. Okay, so there I am. So here's another student's example. This is the freshwater ecosystem. And you can see I found it. This is something that I like to do in the classroom or at school, is to have the kids actually publish books. I also always have them published date, the copyright date, when it was published. I stamp it, so then they're an author. But so this is, I continue to do this. So this was this year. The students then had, to create their own, their table of contents. And then they had to write the different topics. So again, subtitle, bold prints, skip back to the glossary page. This is really difficult. And then their index, which I really like, so they can learn those nonfiction text features. Okay, so this is an example of the second stage of writing. So that first stage was expressive, where you're just getting your ideas down, right? And then this is the transactional type of writing. This writing gets writing to get things done, to instruct, to inform, and persuade the reader, and it's very product oriented. Okay, so a little bit more in depth than just getting your ideas down. There's nearly no maybe necessary structure, but then taking this a little bit deeper. So that's stage 2, the transactional. All right, I'm going to make this big again. Sorry. Okay. All right, so we had expressive, just getting your ideas down, transactional, and now we're going to look at examples of what the third stage. Okay, so here we have the second type of nonfiction writing, which is narrative writing, and it's closer to fiction. It's the closest genre to fiction. Narrative nonfiction incorporates some techniques that a fiction writer might use, such as story, plot, characters, detailed scenes, dialogue, setting and climax, and resolution. Okay, why is that important? Well, those are my language arts SOLs, right? The standards of learning that the kids, that my students need to know. So I'm able to incorporate that into their science. I love this activity, and I actually uploaded some more to share with you, and I'm going to show you a bunch. This is one of my favorite writings that the kids do. So one of our science SOLs in third grade is the water cycle. So after we've studied the water cycle, we'll do this writing piece as really kind of an assessment, and I can assess their understanding of the water cycle, but I can also assess their understanding of narrative writing and their story and their understanding of story elements. And I allow some flexibility of the style of writing for this activity. I'm going to read this one to you just because I think it's a little bit hard to read. It says, "Hi, my name is Drippy. I am a water drop. I live in the Mississippi River. I move a lot. My best friend is Splashy. I'm about to move with my friend. I'm super hot. I think I'm evaporating. I'm finally moving. That took forever. I'm in a cloud, so I'm almost there. I wonder where I'm moving. Well, who cares?" The next day. I'm falling. Oh, this is fun. I think I'm going to land on the ground. I'm going in A Wishing Well. And there you can see kind of a little bit of an illustration of that. So this narrative nonfiction is a combination of nonfiction writing, but also of storytelling and journalism type writing. Here's some more examples. These are from this past year.